Hello YouTube, we're back doing another video, and today we're back on bushes. Yeah, these are for the rear beam. There's two in the back. We're going to swap them out. First thing I want to explain to you, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, I done a few videos on doing the front end. I done superpro bushes on the front and the hardracer roll center ball joints. Now, I bought all of that before lockdown. In hindsight, I should have bought a full superpro kit. But at the time I only planned on doing just the front bushes, but I've been stuck home for a long time with not much to do, and I've decided I'm going to do the back bushes. Now the only thing is the superpro bushes for the back are quite expensive. They're about £140, whereas powerflex in the black, these are £79 at Rival Motorsport, so a lot cheaper than the superpro. Had I got the full superpro kit, I probably could have, it would have worked out okay. But this is what we've got, this is what we're going to do. So that explains to you why I'm using powerflex on the back and not superpro on the front. And it started raining. Hear the noise? We've had some lovely weather lately. I've had a week or so off the car, I haven't done anything. Been getting the garden done and some housework, so that's why you haven't seen me for a little while. But we're going to delve into this. Sometimes I do videos which are more tutorials and I'm showing you how to do things. This I've never done. I haven't got the right tools to take the bushes out, so it could be a bit of a bodge. So basically, rather than a tutorial, you're just going to watch me do it, and if I come up with some spectacular method of getting the bushes out you can copy, then so be it. If not, and I just hack them out, then so be it. I ain't got the proper tools, but you're here for a watch. I'm here to get it done, so let's get started. Also, one thing I forgot to say was, you've probably been wondering why I haven't done a driving video and given you a review on the work that I've done previously, and that's because the car's got no MOT, right? So I've been trying to get an MOT, but as you know, we are in lockdown, so it's been a bit difficult. I did have one appointment. It got cancelled because the garage closed down, obviously shut down for lockdown. I've just had a phone call now that it's back on for Tuesday. So today is Friday. Tuesday I go to get an MOT. So while I drive for the MOT, I'll put a camera in the car and I'll give you some feedback on how the car feels. So that's coming up. So now we really are going to get back to it. And why I've been delaying is we've had terrible hailstones out there. So noisy on that roof out there that I can't actually record anything, so I'm waiting for it to stop so we can go out there and make a start. Right, so here we are, all jacked up. I'm on axle stands. Now what we're going to do is leave the rear shock connected here, and the bushes we change in are in here. So we're going to undo all the bolts for the mechanism there, drop that down, leave the beam still connected here rather than take it all off, and then hopefully get the bushes out with the beam just sagging down. So there's under here there's a couple of bolts, see there, there's two, there's one around there. I did look at just dropping this bolt straight out, but now I can see why everybody takes the old bracket off, because I don't think you'll get the bolt out. This side it'll hit the tank, and the other side over there it'll hit the exhaust. So now I understand why everybody drops the whole thing. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to slacken these first while they fix in place. So we'll free them up, get them slack both sides, then we'll drop the whole thing. Alright, so I'm not expecting this gun to slacken that, but we'll try it. Nope. Let's try to put a lock bar on it. Right, so to get started now, I've taken off the handbrake cable bracket there, popped off the ABS wire as well, so that can get stretched. What I'm going to do now is under here, there's a bolt holding the handbrake cable. We're going to disconnect that, and then we'll tackle them 3 bolts to drop the beam down. Alright, so as you can see I got the jack under the beam, so what we're going to do now is lower that down so we then can get access to take these bolts off, remove the bracket and then get the bushes. Right, so here we have it, drop down, full access to that. Now we'll take that off and then we'll see what condition our bolts are in, or sorry, our bushes. Right, so it's a 15mm on the back end, 18 on the front, and we'll get him out. Easy peasy. See how easy the bolt comes out now. It should, it's pretty free. Oh, you are. Adorable. So on first inspection the bush don't look too bad. A little bit of fraying around here, whether the steel shaft is parted ways with the bush, it's hard to tell. I've seen that happen on some when I watch other videos, but it feels solid enough. I can't see any little bit of perishing, but definitely not as bad as some I've seen. But there we are. It'll be better now once we get them out. What I'm going to do is do the same to the other side, and then we'll come back and start looking how we're going to draw this one out. Right, so off camera I've knocked up a bit of a contraption, as you can see there. I wasn't sure if it was going to work, but it is. It's pulling it out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish up this one, then I'll show you exactly how I've done it on the other side. But that is successful so far. Alright, so that's it. That's one bush out. Now the outer casing of these is plastic. It's not steel. So I have seen some people cut out all in a bush and then hacksaw through this and whack them out. Now while that can work and get them out, it's, the time we take potching with that, I thought it was easier to make up a contraption. So I had a threaded bar, I had this piece of steel. Now that did start out flat. It was an offcut from that, and what I did was I marked it to the size of that bush and then ground it to shape. So you can see what I did. Popped that down there, this way round it was. So that was like that, through the bush, and obviously this chunk of alloy I had anyway, that was like that with the two sockets. So what we're going to do now is that's come out nice and easy. I'm going to go to the other side and I'll show you a process start to finish over there. Right, so as you look at this bush now, you will see that it's flanged around the outside. So you'll notice from that bush, I cut two spots off where the sockets could catch on the metal edge, so you're going to have to do that. I'll probably do another one here, another one there, so we can get to the metal, and that's where the sockets will rest. So that's what you're going to do first. Takes a couple of minutes, but I've got an hacksaw blade like that, and that's pretty straightforward. So I'll just get that done quick and then I'll show you the end result. Right, so you can see now I've exposed the metal. We've got a nice flat bit, and you've got to get through the plastic, not just this rubber out a bit. There's the plastic lip as well. But that's fine now, we can get the socket onto there. Just a case of putting the tool on. Right, so there we are. That is clamped up. What I'm going to do now is put two nuts on the end here, so I've got something to hold against, otherwise the whole shaft will spin and we won't get anywhere. Here we go. Now it's a bit awkward because the camera leg is in my way of turning this, but we'll do what we can. There she blows. Job's a good one. Right, so with the hardest part out of the way, we're down to the good stuff. What I'm going to do first is put the metal sleeve in, and we're going to load the inside up with a bit of grease. Well, I say load, I'm not actually going to load it, I'm just going to put enough to lubricate it in. I'll put that first and then we smack that into the hub. Now, alright, so what I'm going to do now is grease around that part, and then we're ready to slop him in. Right, so I've greased on. I haven't gone mad with it because once that goes in the hub, it'll push all of that out of the way anyway, so I don't want to waste too much on it. Hopefully that'll just go in a little smack with a rubber mallet, but let's get to it. But once again, the rain's pouring on the roof, it's noisy as hell, but you're going to have to put up with it. Right, so there you have it, both of them in. I've done both sides. Now it's a case of getting the brackets back on, and these it's got a position in dowel, but there's freedom of movement side to side. There isn't forward or back, it is side to side, so that's going to take some measuring because I can't have it offline. That'll mess with my OCD, so we're going to bolt it up and then we're going to go about making sure we get it as dead in the middle of the car as we can. Right, I brought you in the shed because just as I was showing you that, I spotted something. Now, can you see that? That's the locating dowel. Can you see that dent in there? Let me give you a torch. Voila, can you see that? Huh? On that side, there's a little one. Now, I know exactly what's caused it. For those of you who don't know the history of this car, I bought it from Copart. It was a Cat S. Seeing this, I've answered a problem for me. Now, I was just doing the tracking yesterday with the string, and when I had the anti alignment going back a while ago, there's a difference in toe on the rear sides, which you'd kind of expect to a point. But doing it on the string line yesterday, the passenger side is close to parallel. Driver's side had about, I think it was between 1 and 2 mil off memory. I wrote it down, I can't remember, but anyway, but it's off. So I just put that down to a quirk of the beam, quirk of the car, not being bang on, but that is why. Now, for those of you who've watched all of my previous videos, you'll know that I traced down the original owner of the car. He told me exactly what happened in the crash. It wasn't a crash where he hit another car as such. He went through, I think, a supermarket car park. I know where you have like dividing curbs, stepped up between parking bays. Well, he didn't see that, and he hit it fast. He reckons about 50 mile an hour. So we launched the car, bent all the front suspension, we tackled all that, changed that. It did buckle the alloys in the back, and obviously now we can see what damage done to the beam. Now, I only visually inspected the beam for what I could see on the outside, but then looking in the inside, we spotted that. So now seeing that, it explains perfectly why I had toe differences. The beam was out of line. So if you look at that one, I'll just show you it's got the deepest cut. That fits in that position under there. Now if you look at that, it's been hit back. So what I've done is put the back beam at a little kink, and that then has given me the more toe-in on the driver's side, and got rid of the toe-in more or less on passenger side. Now, I did wonder when I was doing this, was it worn bushes causing it? But now we know. So, question I've got now, or the dilemma is, do I replace them? Now, these locating pins do nothing for the actual strength, in my opinion, because the bolts is what holds it all in place. So I am either going to attempt to try and knock that out, or just leave it as it is and line up the whole beam through measuring. I know I'm more than capable of doing that, it's not rocket science. That one's very minor, but I don't think I'm going to bother waiting to get replacements. I can't be bothered, to be honest with you, trying to find some and then get them sent. I want to get the job done. I'm going to have a good inspection to make sure there's no other damage anywhere else on these, which I don't think it is, and if not, we're going to go ahead and put them on just with some careful measuring. Right, so just thought I'd show you under here. Right, so where it mounts up to, let me just put the light somewhere. Lighting's always such an issue. Let's try like this. Right, so that's where it mounts to. That bit hole there is where the dowel goes through. So we got no damage anywhere, but can you see the scuffs? Look all along this line here. I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but you can see where the metal is scuffed as it's been jammed back from the accident. So I thought that was interesting and worth showing you anyway, but you know, there's nothing there to worry about. Nothing's deformed, but I already knew that anyway. I'd visually inspected all of this, but like I say, that slight movement was something I didn't pick up on. But what I'm going to do now is set about lining him up. Well, we've got to get it onto the bush. We've got to get it on here first, and then we're going to start putting it up and carefully take some reference measurement points. We've got this bracket here, we've got this point here. I'll find lots of places on the car where I can sort of make sure that I get it bang on each side. Right, so I've just bolted them brackets on. They're not fully taut yet. What I'm going to do now is start jacking up and moving into position. So if you're copying, just be careful of all your cables and everything. You don't want to be jamming them up. So we got the jack in there, and I'll start now putting them up. This is where I'm at now. I've spent ages aligning this beam. I've been taking measurements from going from here to here, there to there, there to there. I've also gone from the back of the beam here to here, equal on both sides of the car. Then measured my distance here. It's pretty time consuming, to be honest. It's taken me well over an hour, and I find once you've got to get a bit of tension in the bolt so that it's not too sloppy when you're doing it, but then once you tighten them up, things move. So it's taken a long time. So the bolts are tight. I've just got to torque them up, and we are done. So I got to give a thanks to Jordan Hembry, who helps me out with my torque settings. I send him a message and he gets back to me and gives me the specs, so thanks for that. What they are, these three big bolts here, they're 125 Newton meters. I think he said this one is 80 Newton meters and then turn through 120 degrees. So I'll have to double check, but pretty much off memory I think that's what he said. So that's all I got to do, just torque them up. All finished. All done. I'm happy. I can't drive it though. Like I said, got MOT on Tuesday. Then I can go and give you some feedback on how it feels. So won't be long now, just a few more days. But I am put the wheels and everything on because you don't see that. I'm going to end the video now before it gets too dark. So thank you very much for watching. I'm going to see you on the next video. Bye.